Okay. So, I don't know if I'm going to be sharing this video or not, but I'm going to be watching a therapist reacting to Jada and Will, their latest, or Jada's latest Red Table Talk, where she brings herself to the table, and they're talking about August Alsina, Jada and August Alsina. And it's very interesting because even from the beginning of the video, I had no clue what they were talking about because it was very, is the word elusive? They were like talking about the situation without really mentioning specifically what it was about. And usually Jada is very like on what she's going to be talking about. And so then I went like, I think I went out of it. I watched the other one because I realized that there was another Red Table Talk video that I hadn't seen yet. So I watched that, and then I think I watched another YouTube video which synchronistically was about the same stuff. And then I was like, all right, I've been seeing there's some stuff about Jada and August, but I haven't really clicked into it because I usually don't care about things like that. I don't feel like it's any of my business. The reason why I'm watching this video right now, therapist reacts to Jada and Will, for entertainment purposes, number one. Number two, because I really admire Jada and Will Smith as individuals and how they relate with each other and how they share their relations with more people than just themselves and their situation. I respect them. I appreciate them. I really appreciate Red Table Talk. I think it's a beautiful platform that Jada has created and hosts. And so I'm excited to see what this therapist is about to say. I'm personally not I'm very interested in psychology. I've been studying psychology on my own independently outside of conventional education. So I'm excited to hear what someone who has studied within the conventional education has to say. Yeah, I'm gonna record the screen. This is a reaction video of me reacting to someone reacting to Jada and Will talking about their situation. So this is gonna be interesting. I'm also eating a little bit of beans. It's like a taco leftover bowl situation. Really good. There's some mango in here. If you haven't tried that yet, I really recommend trying out tacos with mango, if you like mango.
Been on a hell of a journey with me. So that's what we're going to start with. This is a very personal journey.
Yeah.
That became very public.
Yes, absolutely.
For whatever reason.
Okay, so I don't know anything about this. So it sounds like there's some private situation in their relationship, I'm thinking, that they went through, and it became very public, and so they decided to actually just talk about it publicly. So we'll see what happens here.
I guess about 4.5 years ago, started a friendship with August. We actually became really, really good friends. Mm-hmm. And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
The outpouring for him from our family.
I have seen Jada talk about Tupac before and how emotional it gets her. And I wonder if there was some trauma there within her from losing her really close friend, and a underlying desire to have a second chance at healing and almost making an effort to heal herself in the process of being able to heal someone else and keeping them from dying, basically. So I wonder if there's something there. That was just came to mind right now.
It was initially about his health.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a fella named August that apparently Jada became friends with, and at first it was platonic.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
we decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that...
Okay, interesting. So Will Smith, and they're both kind of agreeing on the narrative that he had kind of reached his last straw, so to speak, and decided, look, we have to separate, and you have things to work on. Maybe I have some issues, but it sounds like they're both agreeing that Jada mainly had the issues. I don't know.
I really felt like
That's not what I heard. Didn't Will Smith just say, you go learn how to make yourself happy, and I'm going to go over here and learn how to make myself happy? Interesting.
it could be over.
We were over. As time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. And one thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission because we were separated amicably.
Yeah.
I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker, which he's not.
I guess there's been talk that this August fella, whom I don't know, was saying that Will Smith had given quote-unquote permission, but the two of them are saying that it was more along the lines of they were effectively separated, moving towards divorce, and the two of them were okay with dating other people. So is that what the internet is interested in this? I'm trying to look for why the internet wants me to talk about this. Is that what the salacious nature of this? Like, oh, Will Smith gave permission for Jada to have sex with another man, or when the two of them are just saying, look, we had a hard time in our marriage, we separated, we were looking like we were going to get a divorce, I'll start dating, you start dating.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
So at that point, I feel like, because it's with myself as well, like I can relate with how I word things and how that's where like the physicality of things comes in, because love is so all-encompassing, right? In my experience of love, it is all-encompassing, and so I have been challenged by boundaries, and when you name something a specific thing, it becomes defined almost in what it is you're naming it. And so, like, people have asked me, because I say I don't feel like monogamy is for me, then it's, oh, okay, then are you polyamorous? No, not really. Are you interested in an open relationship? That is closer to my idea of a healthy, fulfilling, loving, respectful relationship for me. And so I can see how they have different perspectives on, I think that they have different perspectives on how they relate and how they word their way of relating. So I've heard them say that they're in a life partnership. That also resonates with me. I'd call my ideal situation a life companionship, a love companionship, a companion in love, a companion in life. And I have many companions in love and life. And so it kind of, then it folds outwardly. So there's this tree, and then there's different branches of all the things. And some beings are a companion in life long term, and some aren't. So for her to call it an entanglement, that is her wording of her experience with the being, and that is up to her to define and put the word that suits and fits for her. And I've seen a couple of videos talking about manipulation, and being a individual that is self-aware, creating your own path is gonna be different. You're gonna use your own words very often to illustrate, to paint what it is you've experienced, what it is you are experiencing. So for her to call it an entanglement is like, I think it's very purposeful that she uses that word. And then Will adds that it was a relationship, and then she also adds, yeah, absolutely, it was a relationship as well. I also don't hold her to, because I can understand if it feels uncomfortable, first of all, to go through those experiences yourself, but then to also share it publicly is another level of intimate relating, you know? And so I can also again see how she has the right to express herself however way she feels comfortable. She doesn't owe people anything. She doesn't owe us, you or me, anything. She doesn't owe the public anything. She's here to live her life. She is in the what's it called? In the public viewing. But again, that doesn't make people entitled to know whatever they want to know about her. I don't think that's what she signed up for. And yeah, again, my point of view. We're like 3 minutes and 33 seconds into this.
I was in a lot of pain and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself. Mm-hmm. And luckily enough, you and I were also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. I would definitely say we did everything that we...
Okay, so maybe by entanglement, she's trying to distance herself from the voluntary nature of which she engaged in the relationship.
During that time, launched into an interaction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for me, when I hear the word entanglement, so when you put E and N in front of something, I love language and words and etymology and stuff. You have encourage. And okay, encourage is the only word that I can think of. And entanglement, entitlement. So entanglement that you are in, it's like a knot that has to be, or like when your hair is tangled, you have to like loosen it up so it doesn't entanglement. It's interesting. It's like a physical expression of what was going on deeper levels emotionally. And I feel like that physical experience that felt like a tangle, maybe, again, I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not her, so I don't know from her experience. From my perspective, it sounds like her relation with August Alsina was a physical expression of something that was going on spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And when it came and met her in the physical, she was able to work through, because I've watched this video, she was able to work through, or she had maybe a initiation of working through the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual trauma or blockages or experiences or feelings that are no longer serving her. Perhaps.
With August, what do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. Mm-hmm. It had been so long since I felt good.
I will say kudos to the two of them for having this conversation. This is a conversation that I have with couples all the time after separation and dating other people, or even infidelity. And this is real life right here. This is real life. If you're with someone a long time, stuff like this happens sometimes. And the common narrative is like, well, you gotta dump his butt and you gotta move on with your stuff and you go certain person, and instead of like, look, life is messy and relationships get messy sometimes. You don't have to put up with it, but typical couples will say, well, we have too much goodness in our relationship to throw it all away because of these few bumps. You live in a marriage long enough, you're going to have these chapters in your relationship. Not all.
You know what I also feel? I feel like there's some like resistance to what Jada is doing because she's opening up more vulnerability, more awareness around vulnerability, emotions, how we communicate and connect on deeper, intimate levels. And I think that definitely stresses some beings out, some beings that have been trying to suppress our emotions. And even that's why I decided to not go with conventional psychology, because in the original meaning of the word psychology, psyche stands for soul in my current remembrance of this. And logy is knowing. So knowledge of the soul. Is it the study of the soul, or the study of the soul? And then in like the 1700s, some German guy called Christian Wolff, I believe, during the rationalization period or something, was saying that, or he changed the meaning of the word to be the study of the mind and behavior rather than the study of the soul. And so I think that what makes the soul is like the emotional, or not what makes the soul, but the way we feel our soul is through feeling. And the mind, of course, is also a expression from the soul. However, I feel like feelings are deeper and closer to the soul. Does that make sense? Like we have spirits, emotion, and then mind is my very short, very, summarized perspective. Yeah.
Always, but often. So big kudos to the two of them.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency.
Exactly, that was what I was going to say. So I feel like they're doing better now. I feel like people are doing better now, opening more up to emotions. And I feel like Jada is a big part of pioneering a way for more interconnected, deeper conversations and healing through those conversations. And I think that there are some beings that are trying to fight against her with any means necessary,
Yeah. Which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. Mm-hmm. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said by Jada. That was beautiful. That was a very excellent description of what people commonly call codependency. Maybe I'll go into that in a second, but let's listen to that again.
It had been so long since I felt good. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody. Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. Mm-hmm. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It feels as though, she's saying, that her inner sadness and loneliness and pain can be fixed by fixing other people. So, as I always say, total speculation. I would wonder if the two of them were in love and had a great relationship in the beginning, but over time, they kind of drifted apart. They're going further and further apart. Maybe there were some conflicts there. Or actually, let me back up even further. Another speculation is that when they two met, Will Smith had issues that were more present. He had issues that she could help with, and that really bonded them, that she helped Will Smith during the beginning of the relationship, and that really helped to solidify their relationship. Maybe as Will Smith had less issues, her issues started to return, where she started to be less distracted by Will's issues and had to really focus on hers, and that made it a lot of pain for her. And then during this time when there was this distance, this August guy comes into the family life, and he needs a lot of help, and she really enjoys taking care of other people. So there's nothing wrong with taking care of other people and enjoying that. It's very altruistic. But if you need to take care of other people to distract yourself from the pain that you're feeling, then we're looking at the very least, you're denying yourself the opportunity to address your own pain. And at worst, you might even force other people to stay sick in order to take care of them. So it sounds like that's what their story is. That's what Jada's story is. It's that she was in a lot of pain. This person who needed help came into their life. She got entangled into that relationship. It fulfilled a lot of her needs of what she's calling codependency. The mechanism there often is that when...
I'm like, do I have codependency? Ooh.
You're a child. She says traumas, and I don't know what she's talking about, but I would suspect what she's talking about is something along the lines as she was growing up, she wasn't treated well, either abused or neglected or abandonment, divorce. Something was happening to her that made her feel like she could use the word trauma growing up. And there's a lot of pain. And then you don't have people taking care of you, and you learn, I don't matter, and I can't take care of myself. No one can take care of me. I have to suppress all of my pain. And I'm going to look for anything to distract myself from that pain. And some people will find substance abuse. Another person will find narcissism. And one of the ways to deal with it is to distract yourself by focusing on someone else's pain, by being useful. So it's possible that Jada, when she was young, total speculation, in her family, she was rewarded for say she had a parent who suffered from alcoholism, and she was in a lot of pain, she was hurt, but the family rewarded her for taking care of somebody. And through that, she learned, oh, I'm actually getting love and a little bit of love and attention because I'm taking care of somebody. That's where my self-worth is. Now, this depends on the fact that I can't really talk about my own needs. I have to sacrifice everything about myself. But at least I'm getting some love and attention. This feels good. Finally, I'm getting some love and attention. I'm useful to the family. I'm taking care of someone. Then you grow up in life and you have that pattern of behavior where you have inner pain and you suppress it. You don't ask for help. You don't express it in a way that allows other people to take care of you. You might not even notice it because you're suppressing it so much. It's there. It's happening. Then one's self-esteem is in taking care of other people. And the surface, it looks like, oh, Jada's such a nice person. She's so kind. She's so giving. But underneath all of that giving is resentment and anger and pain and unmet needs, martyrdom, self-sacrifice, and anger about like, how come no one's taking care of me? But the only way I get self-esteem and love.
How this guy is legit. I was just working on belief work earlier, right before this really, because I'm reading Theta Healing. I'm learning about Theta Healing. I just finished the first book that I ever got about it. And I've been like focusing on, okay, let me work on belief work. And this guy is just I was looking at resentment. And this is, wow. I'm very surprised. I'm very positively surprised by this guy's video. Let me like it real quick. 144K subscribers. I see you. I'm a subscribe.
Love is by taking care of other people. And so you get into this kind of cycle where your behavior and your habit is abusing yourself. You're essentially creating a lifestyle where people, by definition, will have to neglect you because you're not expressing your needs, because you don't trust that anyone will care. So maybe that's what she's talking about there. Let's see if we can see some more.
Versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that whole process with all really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful.
Also for me, trusting that someone will want to hear what I have to say.
But for that lesson.
I feel like YouTube has been very good for that, actually. Yeah, appreciate you. Whoever is watching right now. YouTube in general is a nice,
yeah. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing. you know. And as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me,
right.
which was totally understandable.
Right.
It sounds like she started to maybe pull away from August a little bit and maybe think, well, maybe now that I'm healing, maybe I can go back to Will and maybe we can start working on our marriage again. And then August was hurt maybe and said, we're done. I can't, you know, and then maybe that's what they're saying. It's hard for me to tell.
And to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Yeah. It's the idea of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire.
Yeah.
So this is great. They're modeling for all of us that it's totally normal to have bumps in the road, to have messiness, to have moments of shame or difficulty, and to recover from those moments and to even get stronger. That forged in fire metaphor is good. And I will also say that Will Smith is modeling for men that it's okay to be a man and also have your wife have a relationship with another man and not have your masculinity challenged. This is an important notion that needs to be modeled more. Couples will come to me. There will be things like this. And they will say, well, we're doomed, right? Or they'll just have this notion in their head that it's totally pointless to try to work on the relationship. Or all their friends will be saying, you got to dump that person. I can't believe she did that to you. But they don't want to dump the person. They see a lot of value in their relationship. And they come to me and they're thinking, and they're saying to me, do we have a chance? And I'm like, yeah, you have a chance. You have a huge chance to work this out if you want to work this out. And a lot of couples have bumps in the road like this. And as a couples therapist, I hear those stories. The internet and the world often doesn't hear these stories. So they'll feel strange to you, but they're very commonplace.
This guy is low-key, very high-key, impressing me. And I'm like, wait. Would I benefit from going to school? And in what ways? Interesting.
We have really gotten to that new place of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
One of the hallmarks that I'm often looking for in couples is the ability to joke around. It's actually, I think maybe if I was Jada, I might get a little tired of Will Smith joking around because he seems like that kind of guy. I don't know. But it is actually a good behavior to do because these conversations can be so tense and so difficult that it's a wonderful thing to make a joke. Now, you don't want to make jokes that are going to hurt the other person to make light of a situation, but to add levity, to hold hands and to laugh and smile and say, oh, my, we had some tough years there. Yeah, we did. Oh, well, that's a wonderful behavior that it really helps to bond people. It helps to put people at ease. It lowers our distress usually, gives us a chance to actually get in touch with ourselves and communicate. So I will say that that's great. Now, if Will Smith always jokes around about it, then that could be hurtful to Jada, but I don't see any evidence of that so far.
I would agree.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like...
And I wish that wasn't the case. I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracle.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Again, just wonderful modeling. They're just like, you got to go through it to get the answers. And there's no other way to get there. There's going to be bumps in the road. That's great.
And I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real power in just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Yeah.
And you really can't know that
until you go
through some stuff.
When you go through that, it helps to bond your relationship even more because if you can get through those times and still trust each other and still love each other, then it's like, wow, we must really love each other. For us to have gone through that and still be together, we must really be dedicated to each other. It's one thing to be in love during all the good times. It's another thing to be in love after a bunch of bad times and to be dedicated to each other after a bunch of bad times. It can be very bonding to people.
I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
Okay.
So, we're joking. That's good. That's good that they can talk about it. That's good.
And I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me it is.
Okay. I'll give you that petty. That's what you want. It's just part of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
It kind of brings a tear to my eye as I'm laughing because I know what they're saying, you know, and the emotions behind that, the dedication to each other behind that. It's really quite moving. All right, well, that does it for that. I hope that I reacted in a way that is satisfying to you. I never really know. A lot of people are asking me to watch this. Now, I will say that I did a quick Google because I thought that this video was going to be on YouTube. I didn't realize it was going to be on Facebook. And I saw a lot of videos with a lot of titles. One of the titles I saw was like, a body language expert breaks down all the lies that are happening in the video. I'm just going to tell you that I've looked into the science on that, on the empirical science. There is no scientific basis for those kinds of claims. That one can tell if someone is lying by the way their eyes move or by their body language or by their handwriting. It's just not supported by the science. So don't believe the hype. It sounds nice that you could tell if someone's lying based on certain behaviors, but the fact is we have almost no ability to tell if other people are lying, particularly through body language. Like how could that really, in a video that they know they're being filmed? It's just silly. I'll also say that there's a lot of talk on YouTube. I haven't done a full thing, but I just did a brief scan, and people are saying that Jada is a bad person for cheating on Will, and that the August guy is a homewrecker because he preyed on Jada or anything like this. And these kinds of notions are, I guess, possible, but it's not usual, and it's not the way that they're talking about it. From the way it sounded, they were having, at the very least, a lot of distance in their relationship, and they just started dating other people. And it's nothing more than that. And then Jada dated, and it sounds like Will dated other people as well, and they decided ultimately, no, let's be together. Now, there's other talk on the internet, on YouTube, of people saying, oh, they had an open relationship or this sort of thing. And that's also possible as well. I don't know. But we don't necessarily have to have that for this situation to happen. Again, it sounds like there was a lot of fighting, and it hit a certain point where they might have even officially separated, which often results in let's date other people. Things didn't go well in that arena, or they reinvigorated their relationship and now they're back together. Maybe they have an open relationship moving forward. It doesn't really sound like that to me. So I just want people to be careful about the kinds of conclusions that you draw. I mean, these are human beings. And other people are saying that Jada preyed on August somehow because he was weak at the time. Other people are saying that August preyed on Jada or something like this. And maybe there's data there, but I don't see any, and maybe you have some. But I just wish that everyone would just be careful about the conclusions they derive. These are human beings, one. Two, if we're going to help our society move forward, we have to talk about these things in a mature way, in a way that doesn't stigmatize anything. We shouldn't be stigmatizing a couple that had a bad patch, that had a rough 5 years. We shouldn't stigmatize people who separate privately and date other people. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't stigmatize someone who gets involved with, Jada, and they both understand that, all three people understand, Will, Jada, and August understand that it's fine and consensual and everyone's, on board with it and there's no deception. We shouldn't stigmatize that. It's just normal life. Things like this happen, and it's okay as long as everyone's upfront about it, what's the big deal? So I just think we should just be careful about the sorts of conversations we have about this. All right, well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. Tune in next time when I do another reaction video. And please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.
Cool. Yeah. Do I have anything else I want to say about the situation? I don't think so. Yeah, no, for now. So if I choose to share this video, I appreciate you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you've come this far, I'm sending you love and gratitude. I appreciate all of those who have subscribed, who like and comment and show support to this channel. I really appreciate it. And I might see you in the next one. Enjoy your life.